Hello, my name is Jackie Victory, Director for Student Organizations and Service. And today we're going to be talking about student organization outside consultant training. So a few things that I want you to know right out of the gate. Organizations are going to indicate on your re-registration within MyMT if your organization has an outside consultant or not. If you do not have an outside consultant, you are still required to complete this next step because there's always a chance that during the school year, you will have some type of an agreement with an outside entity. The second piece is that the president is required to review a short training session, which we're doing at this moment, and to sign the outside consultant agreement form. Failure to complete this step will result in the organization remaining in an inactive status. So what is a student organization outside consultant? An outside consultant is any advisor who is not employed by MTSU, but they are working closely with your student organization. So let's give a few examples here. Maybe it's a coach that's working with your sport club, or maybe it's a campus minister, an alumni advisor, a consultant in some form or fashion. Anyone who is assisting and giving the organization guidance on their regular student organization activities. So at some point in time, student organizations are most likely going to want to talk with someone outside of the university. So this training is meant to help in those efforts, understanding what it looks like and how it will work. It's important for you to know that student organizations are independent of the university. That's a really important piece. And so when you're entering into a contract with someone or an agreement with someone, you are entering in as the student organization and that outside entity. That has nothing to do with the university. And it's really important for you to be aware of that and for your outside consultant to understand that as well. We're going to go through and touch on a few areas that I think will be really important for your organization to know and understand, and also to ensure that you're complying and that your outside consultant is complying as well. So the first thing that we want to talk about today is agreements. I think we can all agree that we make agreements with people all of the time. Maybe it's with our brother or sister. We agree, if you'll do the dishes, then I'll mow the yard. Maybe it's within your classmates. You've got a group project. If you'll take care of the essay piece, then I'm going to take care of the research. There are agreements that happen in a lot of different ways. And within your student organization, you too are going to have agreements. And so it's really important when you're working with your outside consultant to make sure that you all agree on what your role is, and make sure that you not only agree, but that you're getting it in writing. Some of the things that you would want to think about would be the time frame. When do you want them to start, and how long are they going to work with you? Compensation, are you going to pay them? Is it something that's going to be all up front? Are you going to pay them once a month? What is that going to look like? The scope. What exactly is it that you want that student organization outside consultant to do? And how much of it do you want them to do? And then lastly, any restrictions that you might have that you want that outside consultant to be aware of. Make sure you get it in writing. That's only going to help you in the long run and give you something that you can point back to in the event things are not going the way that you all thought that they should. Now let's talk about events on campus. You know, MTSU has a lot of policies, but if you look at MTSU Policy 100, which is our campus use policy, you're going to learn a little bit more about student organization representatives, which would be you, and how you are held responsible when you're hosting events and programs and activities on campus. One, it needs to be consistent with the mission of your organization. Anytime you're hosting events on campus, they should match the mission of what your organization is all about. But second, and this really deals with your outside consultant, the external person or organization must comply with the terms of MTSU's policies, local, state, and any federal laws. The organization is responsible for those outside consultants when they're on campus. Remember, they're not an employee, they're a guest. So you're responsible for those actions. Organizations are responsible for any costs or fees associated with hosting an event. The sponsoring organization is responsible for all communication, including the reservation and event arrangements, and then also advertising and event promotion. Those plans must comply with the university policy. The next thing that we want to talk about is the agency. Outside consultants are not agents or employees of MTSU, and I know we've already said that, but that's just really important for your organization to know. Outside consultants are not authorized to act on MTSU's behalf, meaning if you have a coach of your team, they cannot go and make an agreement on your behalf with a t-shirt company or with purchasing or anything like that. Outside consultants will also not represent themselves as having authority to act on behalf of MTSU. So those are all really important things. Remember, you're a student organization, so you should be the one that are entering into agreements. You're the one that should be handling the business side of your organization. Now let's talk about trademarks and logos. Outside consultants cannot use any MTSU trademark without obtaining prior approval from the Division of Marketing and Communications. And let's just be real, a student organization really needs to seek that permission as well, especially if you're looking at a t-shirt design, or maybe you're looking at creating a logo that's going to use part of the university's trademark. Those are things that you would want to send to me, Jackie Victory, and I will work on your behalf with the Division of Marketing and Communications to seek approval. But an outside consultant cannot use these things without getting permission. So that would be another thing that would be important for you all to know. Now let's also talk about photography. Outside consultants cannot use the student organization or members in photography or promotions unless that has previously been agreed upon by the student organization in writing. All of us have a phone, we all have cameras, we snap pictures all of the time, but we want to be sure that those that are being taken picture of are aware and that they agree to use their image on behalf of the club or organization. And that outside consultant does not have the right to do that. Remember, I keep saying it, but they are not an employee of the university, so they do not have that particular right. Finally, we want to talk about personal activities of those student organization outside consultants. They are not allowed to use student organization members or officers for any type of personal activity or research. Those are things that should be done outside of their work with the student organization. Again, go back to your agreement. Did you agree that the organization was going to participate in such activities? Individual members are the ones that should look at that and be able to state whether or not they would like to participate. That concludes our student organization outside consultant training. As always, if you need us, feel free to reach out. Thank you.